Low self-worth affects everything. This affects your relationships, how you feel about yourself, what you believe you deserve and go after. If you don't learn how to build real self-worth that actually lasts, you're going to end up settling and missing out on so many opportunities, great people, and life experiences. So if you're ready to make a real change and learn how to build self-worth that actually lasts so that you can stop settling and start living for you, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do today so that you can start living a life for you and going after the things that you truly want. If you're in a place where you're ready to create changes, better yourself, better your life, make sure to hit subscribe because I'm putting out videos each week tapping into how you can become the best version of yourself and step into your most empowered and happiest self. Something that I always tell my clients is that nothing changes until you decide you're ready for a change. So when it comes to building self-worth, a lot of this comes from a deep-rooted and deep-seated belief that you're not as worthy and deserving of things as other people are. And you'll find yourself explaining this away in, let's say, a meeting. You'll think that you don't know as much as another person, so you won't contribute, or you think that somebody else is smarter or more deserving than you, so you kind of take a back seat so you can let somebody else shine. The thing is the more you do this, the more it reinforces the message to yourself that you're not worthy, that you're not as smart as someone, you're not as pretty as someone, that you don't deserve the same opportunities to go after the things that you want that other people do. If you're like, I've tried so many things in the past, or I just don't even know where to start, I put together a free starter kit in the description with everything you need to get started on building self-worth. I want you to feel like you have all of the tools that you need to be able to work on yourself and start to implement things starting today. The first step that I want you to do before we do anything else is start to get really clear on what it is that you want for yourself. Get out pen and paper and start to write down all of your non-negotiables. If those worries weren't there, if you weren't comparing yourself to other people, if you weren't worried about what other people would think, what are the things that you would go after? What do you think you would deserve? If you can get really clear and paint a picture without the pressure of actually having to follow through on any of these things, but write down everything it is that you would love to see for yourself, this is going to help give you the baseline and framework of what it is that you need to do to make changes. And also ask yourself, where are you tolerating too much? This is going to be people pleasing. This is going to be showing up for everyone and everything except yourself. If you think about throughout the week, what frustrates you the most? Frustration is the biggest sign that you're not prioritizing yourself and your needs, and this needs attention. Whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to challenge yourself to not do one of those things this week. Every little change builds up over time, and that's how you start to see change in the long run. But first, just get clear on everything it is that you want for yourself and what isn't changing. If there was a miracle tonight and you woke up tomorrow and everything was different, how would you feel about yourself? How would you dress? How would you show up in certain situations? The clearer you can get on this, the easier it's going to be to start to adopt this in real life. Self-worth is not built by doing the same things you've been doing so far. So once you get really clear on what it is that you want for yourself and how you would be showing up if the pressure wasn't there, if you weren't worried what other people would think, if you weren't comparing yourself to others, what's one thing that you want to do, one specific area that you could focus on to help yourself feel better and to give back to yourself? The secret to building real self-worth is that you're going to start prioritizing yourself. The way you show up in life, in work, in relationships needs to shift because what you've been doing isn't working. So what you need to do is start putting yourself first and know that it's okay to do this. You're probably going to have some internal thoughts or dialogue or something going on where you feel guilty for putting yourself first. You feel like maybe you don't deserve it, or you're so stuck in the people-pleasing cycle that it feels so uncomfortable to take care of your needs you may not even know where to start. Let's think about how we can approach it in a way that's going to feel more supportive and that's not going to feel as intimidating. Self-worth really comes down to knowing that you're worthy and deserving, loving yourself, and prioritizing your needs, because if you don't do one of those three things, you're not going to build self-worth. So let's start by building yourself up. Is it internal talk that you want to change? Is it an action that you want to change? Or maybe getting away from people pleasing and catering so much to other people, you don't have to inconvenience your life to make sure another person's happy at the expense of your own happiness. The sooner that you can remind yourself of this and the sooner that you can start putting your needs first, the more that reinforces the cycle of building your self-worth, of feeling better about yourself, of knowing how to show up for yourself. Your self-worth grows every single time you decide to honor that little voice inside of you that's telling you what you need and you give that to yourself. This could be downtime on a weekend to re-energize. It could be turning your phone off or putting it on Do Not Disturb for an hour because you need that peace. Doing a yoga class, doing a meditation. One of the things that I've been doing for myself myself that's really helping me feel grounded in the morning is going on a walk with clove tea, listening to a podcast, and doing things that are making me feel like I'm giving back to myself, and it shifts my mindset going into the day where I feel more grounded and stable. So if you were to ask yourself, if you got rid of all of the thoughts and worries of what other people would think and if this is going to inconvenience another person or what does it mean to take time for yourself, quiet all of that outside noise and ask yourself what's one thing you want to do for yourself this week, and challenge yourself to do that, because I promise you the more you get back to yourself, the more you fill your cup, the better you're going to be for everyone else in every situation in your life. If you want to, let's say, speak up at work more, maybe we don't start with speaking up at work. Maybe you start with speaking up to a friend or a family member or something where it feels like lower stakes, and you build your way up to speaking up in meetings. It doesn't need to be jumping into the deep end of the pool. It just needs to be starting to dip your toe in the water and create small changes. Get a taste of what it's like to put your needs first and get comfortable with that. Push yourself, yes, out of your comfort zone, but you don't need to go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum where every day you start saying no to everything and putting all of your needs ahead of everything else. Just try something small. Whatever you want to do, commit to one thing that you can do for yourself this week, and then reflect on that experience and see how that feels. Did that feel good? Did that feel uncomfortable? Did you feel guilty doing it? That feedback can show you what you need to work on, because if you're feeling guilty putting yourself first, or if you still have that negative self-talk or that voice in your head, that tells you what you need to focus on and what you need to give a little bit more love to allow yourself to release that, so that you can feel really good putting your needs first, and you can feel really good taking care of yourself and learning to love yourself. Even in the moments that it's uncomfortable, practice taking care of yourself. If any of this is hitting home so far, I'm curious to know what the area is that you want to focus on this week. I'm also happy to dive deeper on any of the topics or any of the things that come up for you. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to chat it out with you. In order to build self-worth, we have to detach from other people's opinions and beliefs. The only thing that matters is what works for you, what you need, and taking care of yourself. There's always going to be people that show up in life that maybe make your life a little bit harder, or that put their needs ahead of yours and maybe put pressure on you to show up for them, or maybe you're always consistently not wanting to let them down or worried about what they're going to think. We can't change other people. We can't influence them. We can't make people show up for us or support us the way that we need. But what we can do is detach from that. Detach from people's expectations of you and redirect that energy back to yourself. The only thing that matters when it comes to building self-worth, when it comes to building self-love, is being able to provide that validation to yourself. This is not about needing external validation, because the more you rely on that, the more your worth is influenced by whether or not someone gives you positive or negative feedback. Building true self-worth truly comes from being able to build yourself up internally and tune down the outside noise and opinions of others. So if you're wondering well, how do I do this? I'm going to share with you some of the tools and tricks that have worked for me and that have also helped my clients. Your responsibility is to take care of yourself and make sure that you live a happy and fulfilled life. And the only way to do that is getting to know yourself by spending time with yourself. When you're going outside your window of tolerance and you're burning out and you're showing up for people and not showing up for yourself, you need to listen to the feedback your body and mind and emotions are telling you, so that you can start to put those limits on where you're putting your energy, start to get back to yourself and praise yourself for doing that. That's such a huge win. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to believe that you're deserving of great things. Self-worth is built in the moments that you start to listen to your needs and prioritize them over the outside noise of others. And the secret to doing that is to detach from what other people think and learn how to validate yourself. So anything that's telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not worthy enough, we need to stop that, because first of all, that's not true. And even if, situations in the past maybe led to these beliefs, they are just beliefs. They're nothing else. They don't have to come with you into the future. Reminding yourself of all of your positive traits and leaning into those is what's going to help build self-worth, because you're going to truly believe these things about yourself. Even if it feels like that's far away right now and you're not going to get there, the more time, energy, and attention that you invest back into yourself, the more your self-worth is going to go up, and the more you're going to catch yourself when you're not taking care of yourself first, when you're not putting yourself first. This is a huge step, because the more you can do that, the more self-awareness that you have, the easier it's going to be to choose differently for yourself, or to catch yourself before you neglect your needs, so that you can say no, you can set a limit. You can do what you need to do for yourself and then feel really proud about that after. When we talk about getting clear on your standards and limits in relationships, in work, in how you take care of yourself, I want you to get super specific with this. Think about, how do friends show up for you? If somebody's consistently not there for you but always needing something from you, Is that the kind of person you really want to have in your life? Compared to finding people who have the same interests, who have the same values, who show up for you and ask you if you're okay, check in on you, go out of their way for you too. We want to find the mutually beneficial relationships where you're not always inconveniencing yourself for the other person, but you're both showing up for each other, and in people that share similar beliefs, values, and lifestyles. What's a daily non-negotiable that you have for yourself? Is it quiet time in the morning? Is it a daily walk? Like, thinking about what your non-negotiables are and getting really clear on that is going to help you be able to implement it so much easier, because you're not going to be guessing, well, what do I need to do for myself? You already have it down, and knowing what you want to do and having a goal for like tomorrow, let's say for instance, you're more likely to follow through on it because you already know, okay, I'm going to take time for myself in the morning so that I can feel grounded before I start my workday. All of this raises awareness to times that you're settling so that you can stop settling and start putting your needs and yourself first. I would love to hear what your thoughts are and if there's anything that you want to commit to this week. And also make sure to download the free starter kit to dive even deeper into building self-worth that I have in the description. And make sure to hit subscribe to my channel.